Hello, everybody, and welcome. So, I guess you guys can tell by the avatar what kind of mood I'm in today. I'm in that mood where I'm just not going to take any shit today. I'm in just that mood to just let it all go. Don't worry, I'm not mad at you guys at all. No, not at all. I'm not mad at my subscribers or anybody on my channel. I'm mad at Chantal. And I don't want YouTube to tell me what to do as far as what I can say on this video. I'm not going to use code words and I'm going to use profanity if I doggone well want to. So Chantal did a video called Chicken Shawarma Wrap and Fries Eat Dinner with Me. Chantal, you were in such a hurry to post this video, you couldn't even check your spelling, mama. Yeah, but I'm watching this video. I'm like, I'm so tired of her nonsense. I'm so sick of it. I'm sick of her lying to people. I'm sick of her lying to herself. I'm sick of her holier than thou attitude. And I'm Miriam now, and I'm so much better now, and I'm a changed person. Bullshit. Bullshit. And I'm going to show you guys just how much shit she's full of today. That's what we're doing. And I also would like to show Chantal who she was versus who she is now. Before I get started with the react, though, I want to ask you guys a question. Those of you on my channel. So I have never gone live to react to Chantal. I've been wanting to for at least a couple of weeks. But considering that it's my first time reacting to Chantal live, I've actually been kind of waiting for Chantal to give us something spicy, something good. Unfortunately, she's been boring as all fuck every day. So I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for something good to come along, and there's nothing there. So here's what I could do. I could react live to the Cuba Rage. I know that it's quite old and a lot of people have already covered it, but I think there's some people on the Beezer side, or maybe in Marty's community, that they've never seen the Cuba Rage. All of you new Beezers, maybe you haven't seen it, the Cuba Rage, maybe you've heard of it in passing. The Cuba Rage is infamous because that's when Chantal was really Chantal, when the mask was completely off and all of her ugliness on the inside was out in full view. She was all in her feelings, she was all in her arrogance, she was making all kinds of money then. And because of that, she was on a very tall, high horse and was just being completely rude and completely mean to everybody, including her subscribers. I think those that are on the Beezer side, y'all need to really see who this woman is if you don't already know. Those of us on the reactor side, we already have seen it. We already know it. We're very familiar with it. And this person, the Cuba Ray Chantal, is the one that really exists. And the, wannabe sanctimonious Miriam, that's just cosplaying. But I'm thinking about reacting to the Cuba Rage here on my channel since Chantal's not giving us anything spicy to work with. So those of you on my side, what do you think? Should I do it? Should I do my first react to Chantal and use the Cuba Rage? Although it is quite long, it's like 4 hours long. Maybe I could do it in parts. You guys can tell me in the comments. But that's for later. Let's talk about right now. Let's go over this newest video that she did called Chicken Shawarma Wrap and Fries Eat Dinner with Me. spelling, Chantal, spelling. Because I got so many thoughts. I'm so sick of her shit. I'm so sick of her talking about diets. I'm so sick of her saying, I care about my health, and she really doesn't. So I'm just going to just let it all go. Let it all hang out. What do you think? You think we should do this? I think we should. Let me just go ahead and share the screen so you guys can watch this with me. Yes, there's going to be parts that are boring, but boring is what Chantal does best. So let's get started with this doggone thing, shall we?
I got the Cristiano sandwich, which apparently has beef, onions, cheese, steak sauce. What else? Oh, it's tender. Mushrooms, peppers.
That is a sad sandwich. There is more bun than meat on that sandwich. Cue in the tiny violins for that sandwich. Look how sad. That sandwich is sad. Where's the meat? Where's the vegetables? Where's anything? Look, it just, I mean, if sad were a sandwich, it would be that sandwich. If regret were a sandwich, it would be that sandwich. Like, how can you be happy eating that sandwich, Foodie? I wouldn't be happy. I'd be like, "Where's the rest of it? I've been cheated. Where's the rest? Where's the toppings? There's nothing here except nothing." And you got bare French fries, no seasoning, no nothing. What a sad meal.
Let's try it. Beauty bite. Mmm. Mmm. Tastes like a Philly.
Well, it's not a Philly. That is not a Philly sandwich. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
So, and I'm thinking, what about your diet? I'm just trying to find my way, man. Like,
Oh, shut up. You are not. Why can't you come on camera and tell the doggone truth? Why not? Why can't you come on camera and say, "Look, I don't care about diets. I don't care about my health. I don't care if I gain another 200 pounds and make myself bedbound to the point where I lose 100% of my mobility. I don't care about none of that. I know I should care, but I don't care. All I care about is ordering some fast food and feeding my face." That would be an honest statement from you. That would be a breath of fresh air to hear something honest coming out of your mouth. You don't care about diet, Chantal. You don't care about healthy food. You don't care about your mobility. You don't care about going places and doing anything. All you care about is sitting in a room and being fed and having somebody around to be your caretaker and help you do the simple things like putting on your shoes or helping you walk because you can't walk by yourself. You just want someone to take care of you so you can sit on a couch and not move and get fed. Besides, with people like yourself with an extreme problem with food, diets don't work anyway because your problem goes beyond food portions and amounts of food. If you've got a problem with food like you've got, you need therapy. You need inpatient. Those are two things you avoid like the plague, but those are the only things that could help you. You need to be in strict, lockdown inpatient where you could be monitored. You can't sneak food. You can't get on an app and order your Nashies or your Twisty Misties or any other thing. You need someone to supervise you and watch you and tell you no because you don't know how to tell yourself no. But the things that you need the most, you will never get because you're resistant to any kind of change, to any kind of improvement. You think it's perfectly fine to stay the way that you are. Meanwhile, you have trouble breathing even when you're sitting perfectly still. Well, if you don't care about your health to the point where you'll take care of your health, don't expect us on this side of the monitor to care more than you do. It's not our job to take care of you. It's your job to take care of you. So if you don't want to take care of yourself, fine, but don't expect any pity. And I'm just going to say it. Chantal isn't just, fat or obese or even super morbidly obese. There's another term, and the term is death fat. She is in death fat category. And a death fat is somebody who's so in such bad health and they're so big that anything could happen at any time with them, any kind of medical emergency. They're literally dancing with death. And that's where she's at. She could have a medical emergency at any time. And she knows this, but she doesn't care. All the warning signs are there. She's at the point where she's wearing the biggest size abaya that she can get commercially. To get anything bigger, she'd have to have it custom made, even perfectly sitting still. She can't breathe very well. She can't even get on an elliptical for 2 minutes. All the signs are there that her health is failing. Does she care? No. Does she expect everybody else to care? Yes. We're just here to watch the show, Chantal. Don't expect us to care. There's nothing we can do for you. There's a lot you could do for yourself, but you don't want to. So, what can we do? If you're not willing to make changes, if you're not willing to help yourself, what can anybody else do? Nothing. So don't come over here and talk to me about diets. You need more than a diet. A diet is not going to fix what's going on with your head and your hyperfixation on food.
The type of weight loss plan I'm seeking is one that is also one that I can maintain.
Huh? So you want to maintain your weight? Ma'am, you're 500 pounds. Well, in my opinion, I think you're over 500. I've seen screenshots of you back in 2018 when you were with BB. You were 377 pounds then. You were 30 pounds away from being 400 pounds. So you're easily over 500 now. And you want to maintain that? You want to maintain being the weight that you are, even though the weight you are is unhealthy and you're having a lot of difficulty with practically everything in your life? Let me show you something. Let me show you something because I know you watch my videos. You know, you've watched my videos, and sometimes I catch you using music that I use for my intros. But let me just show you something. This is a video that you did, let's see, 5 years ago. You turned the comments off, coward. But you did it 5 years ago. Look at this, Chantal. 5 years ago, doing a video called Come for a Walk with Me. And you took a walk in a very pretty park, it looks like. Let's watch.
I'm bad with maps. Okay, you are here. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do.
Here she goes walking. Look at that, Chantal. You're walking and you don't need assistance. You're walking all by your doggone self in a beautiful park. Birds are singing, beautiful countryside. Canada is beautiful. So many things to see, so many things to do. And you used to have your mobility to have access to all these things and all this freedom to go where you like and explore what you like. This is part of what you gave up when you decided that a paycheck was worth more than your health. You gave some of this stuff up. You gave up being able to step outside your front door and breathe the fresh air and do things on your own without assistance. You and Amberlynn Reed are now in the same boat. You're both at such a size and with such bad health that you need caretakers. You're not so much looking for relationships, you're looking for caretakers. But of course, the both of you are so doggone cheap, you don't want to pay professional caretakers that are not your significant others to take care of you. You don't want to pay home nurses and other personnel because that would be expensive. No, you want to find one person that you lure into a quote unquote relationship. It's not so much of a relationship as you both being cheap and wanting to find caretakers that will do a bunch of jobs and not have to pay much money to. You don't want a partner because everything's going to be one-sided. Whoever that person is, they're going to be responsible for taking care of all your needs. And what do you bring to the table? Just a paycheck? You're not in that position where you can take care of nor care for your partner. You want them to care for all of you and help you put your shoes on and go get groceries and fetch your food. That is not a healthy relationship. That is you being codependent on somebody else and relying on them to do everything for you. And you wonder why men run away from you. You expect way too much. You know, you suffocate a person by saying, do this, 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 and this, and they don't get to have a life. And eventually, whoever that person is, they get sick of you and they run away because they decide at one point, I want to live again. I want to breathe again. And this person's taking up all the oxygen in the room and I can't breathe. This was you, Chantal. This was you walking around.
Say beautiful or what? Look at this. Oh. I'm going to cross that bridge. Let's go, guys. There's a little bathroom.
This is weird. When I saw this video, I'm like, This is wild because even back in the day, she had a fascination with outhouses. Chantal, question: what is this fascination with outhouses? I don't understand. Can you enlighten me here? What is this big fascination for, public outside restrooms or doing your business outside on the side of a road? Like, what's the appeal? I never understood that, but for some reason it appeals to you. So here it is, 2018, and just like with the outhouse on the long road, her fascination with outhouses. I don't understand it.
In case we gotta go. You guys want to see inside? I'm grossed out, but hopefully there's no one in there.
Yeah, that's something else I find interesting. So she's got a fascination with outhouses. And yet, when somebody suggested to her that she could use the public pool at the villa and also the place where she lives at, she goes, "Oh, I can't use the public pools. They're gross. They're full of germs and they're full of hair." So a little hair that she might not even see or might not even be in the water is a problem. But a public outhouse is something she's fascinated by? Okay. Oh my God. Ew.
Wow. All right.
See, you're walking, Chantal. Yes, your breathing is a bit labored. That's to be expected. But you were walking. You didn't need Pete's there. You didn't need Salah. You didn't need nobody. You were doing this yourself. This is what you gave up because you want to be infamous on YouTube, because you want to be a big toxic deal on YouTube, because you want to get those big paychecks. You are such a fool. You having your channel on YouTube was the worst thing to happen to you. Do you realize that? Because if you had not had a channel on YouTube making the money that you make, you would not be as unhealthy as you are. You wouldn't have been able to afford all those party favors and all those trips to the fast food joints and ordering takeout 3 times a day. You were given a cornucopia of fortune and you squandered it. And not only did you squander it, what you did have, you used it to hurt yourself in the worst of ways. You can't even look at us and say, "I've got my health. I've got good health. I may not have a car. I may not have a big home. I may not have any savings, but I got my health." You can't even say that. You are bankrupt, even on the level of having good health. You got nothing. Absolutely nothing. If you didn't have your YouTube channel, you'd be in big trouble because you're not even employable. You're not even in the physical condition where you can go out and get a regular job. So the 5 years that you've spent on YouTube, you spent it making money and you use it to hurt yourself and you haven't stopped. And now you are just talking about diets. Diets ain't going to fix nothing. You got to fix your mental state. You got to figure out your problems, but you don't want to figure them out. You want to escape from them. But let's continue with the original video.
Because actually losing the weight was only part of the journey. I realized this recently. Maintaining is like a whole other story.
So you want to maintain 500 pounds. That's insane. Why would you want to maintain 500 pounds? Who are you doing it for? The feeders on your channel? There's not many of them left. Really, there's not that many left. There must not be that many because you're so desperate for money. You're over here doing anything you could do to make money. You're doing cameos. You're doing this, you're doing that. Obviously, that crowd has disappeared and there's not many left. Why are you devoting so much of your energy to catering to that small genre of people on your audience that, if we're going to get real, They are the real haters on your channel. Yes, that's right. I said it. They are the real haters because anybody who goes on to a channel like yours and they know that you have a problem with food and they are promoting you, they are encouraging you to eat and eat and eat. When they see how unhealthy you are, that's somebody who doesn't give a damn about you. They don't care. The feeders are there to have their fetish fulfilled. You fulfill their fetish. That's as far as it goes. They are not your friends. They don't care about you. They don't care what happens to you. If you went to the hospital for a medical emergency, are they going to be right there next to the bed holding your hand saying, "It'll be okay, Chantal. We're here for you"? No, I'll tell you what's going to happen. If something happens to you, Chantal, they're going to move on to another channel and another YouTuber who will fulfill their fetish. And if it's not that person, it'll be another one. And here's something else for you. Hungry Fat Chick, Candy, she has a channel that's twice the size of yours. And yes, she was making food content just like you, but she's doing the damn thing. She said enough is enough. And she's taking control of her health. She is being accountable. She's showing us weigh-ins. She's showing us what she's eating. She admits to her mistakes or her errors, and she gets right back on the horse and she keeps writing. She's saying a paycheck is not worth my life. And she's getting it done. And Candy, hats off to you, ma'am. I've heard recently that you are 8 pounds away from being back in the 300s. You know what I have to say to that? Bravo. Bravo, Candy. Well done. Well done. Well done, Candy. I'm glad to see that you're taking care of your health and you're taking care of yourself, that you are putting your health above the money. Unfortunately, Chantal never will. Because from everything I've seen of Foodie, she does not care. From everything I've seen of Chantal, she's saying, I quit, I give up, it's hopeless, I might as well just continue onto the path that I'm on and just keep going. But the big question is, Chantal, how long can you keep going? How long can this continue? How much abuse do you think your body is going to put up with? How much longer? I mean, you don't know and we don't know, but a body can only take so much. Have you thought about if something were to happen to you, some medical emergency, what it would take to keep you from losing your life? I mean, I don't want to talk morbid, but let's talk real. Let's just talk, hypotheticals here. What if something medical were to happen to you at home and an ambulance is called? Every second is critical. At the weight that you're at, it would take more than a couple of people to put you on a stretcher and put you in an ambulance and take you to a hospital. That's going to be a delay in time to get you there. I mean, these are things you should think about. How much of a fighting chance are you giving your body if something does happen? You're not even trying to protect your health. Obviously, you're not. You're sitting here stuffing your face full of sandwiches, eating fast food you know you shouldn't have, and you expect everybody else to care for you and show pity and sympathy and be concerned for you at the same time you're not. You come on camera, and let's be real, y'all. What she's doing is self-harm content. She's an addict coming on camera, indulging in her addiction in front of everybody and wanting everybody to watch. And also, she wants to get paid for it. Hence the reason why she monetizes these videos. And when she goes live, she wants the super chats and she wants the membership signups. She's expecting people to pay her to do her addiction on camera. Point blank, period. YouTube shouldn't allow it, but they do. So because they are allowing it, she continues to do it. And then people gather around her. And although, yes, there are some beaters that say, hey, get healthy, we'll stand behind you. The point is, she doesn't care. People will stand behind her to get healthy, but she's not interested in getting healthy, not at all. And I wish everybody on Chantal's side, they would wake up and realize they're dealing with somebody who just doesn't care. She doesn't care about her health. She's putting the money over her health, over her life. She wants to continue to be on YouTube and do the laziest, easiest content possible when she has the room to do whatever she wants on her channel and stay away from the food content. She's picking the easy, toxic, damaging path versus staying away from it.
It's like climbing Mount Everest and then realizing you have to make your way down again. So, in my opinion,
yeah, you talked about Mount Everest. Funny that you bring that up. You've talked about wanting to climb Mount Everest, even though the most experienced and fit people have difficulty doing that exact thing. But I'm glad you brought that up, Chantal, because just as it took you some time to get from, say, under 400 pounds to well over 400 pounds, just as it took you time to get to the size that you are and to make your health as bad as it is, if you want to fix it, it's going to take time to undo the damage. And a diet's not going to get it done. It took you time to do this damage. It's going to take time to fix it if it can be fixed. I don't know if there's anything going on inside you that's irreversible, but you can't expect that if you're over 500 pounds, that you're going to lose 100 pounds overnight or within a week. It's going to take some time. And that's if you're really dedicated to the cause, which of course you're not. And you're proving that with every food video that you put out. Every time you sit in front of us on your little laptop box with the plastic cover and the full sugar Coca-Cola drinks, you're saying, I'm not interested. I'm not on that path. I want to continue on this path. I want to get bigger. I want to get more immobile. And I'm expecting that Salah's going to take care of me. Trust me, mama, he won't. He's a young man. He doesn't love you, doesn't care for you. He actually hates you. He's repulsed by you. And he wishes he can be free of you. But you're expecting someone that don't care about you or attached to you, that if worst comes to worst and you lose your mobility, that he's going to be right there to take care of you. He will not. He doesn't have the medical training to know how to deal with a super morbidly obese patient that needs to be fed, that needs to be bathed. He doesn't know how to check for, say, bed sores or any other complications. He won't know what to do. If he tries, he's going to get overwhelmed. He's not a professional nurse. He doesn't have the nurse's training. So I don't know why you're expecting Salah to be there for you when we both know that's not going to happen. So why are you pushing so hard? Why are you so hell-bent on making yourself immobile and at the mercy of fate? Because fate is ready to turn its back on you and say, hey, we tried with this one. We tried to warn her. We told her this was a bad path, and she continued on it anyway. So at that point, I guess you're going to have to learn on your own. You're going to have to learn some hard lessons. You are hard-headed, Chantal. You're stubborn and you're defiant. And life has tried to teach you some gentle lessons before, but you're at the point now where it's saying, you know what? We throw up our hands. You're going to have to learn the hard way. Very hard. Because that's the only way it's going to get through to her.
you know, being more realistic in things. I'm trying to see how that goes.
You're not realistic.
I haven't had anything to eat today, so.
Anybody believe that? Because I don't. I don't believe that's the first meal she's had of the day. And the reason why I say that is because she's sitting there eating so casually. If that was the first meal she had of the day, she would be ravenous. She would be wolfing down that sandwich in a matter of like 4 or 5 bites. But she's eating all casual, like she's eaten before now.
This will be my meal, my big meal.
Anybody believe that's going to fill her up? Because I don't. We've seen Chantal put some food away, massive amounts of food. And that little bitty sad sandwich and those fries, that's just a snack. That is just an absolute snack. Oh, and spoiler, she brings out another sandwich. And everybody in the community has been saying that she orders one meal at a time. And this video proves that she does.
So I thought I would like talk about some more facts about Kuwait. I know I talked about a few before, but I don't remember. So thanks to my poor memory, you have to hear it again. All right, so.
Oh, we got notes now. Y'all, look, we got notes. You know what's sad about that? What's sad about Chantal writing down stuff to talk about in a video? She's been in Kuwait for several months. The fact that she has to have notes sitting right beside her, that should tell everybody she never leaves the house. She never does anything. She never goes anywhere. She never talks to anybody. Because if you're outside the front door experiencing life and talking to people, you don't need notes. Everything is committed to memory. She's been in Kuwait for so long. She should have plenty to talk about. Plenty. And she has nothing to the point where she has to actually write down notes. How sad is that? In Kuwait for over 6 months, and she's experienced so little that she has to go on Google and Google up facts about Kuwait just to be able to fill up a video to where she could monetize it. And that's supposed to be your dream life, right, Chantal? Kuwait's to be, it's so much better than the Western world. There's so much to experience in Kuwait. You're so much happier. You're involved with somebody who loves you. You've got your dream life. Well, if you got your dream life, why aren't you outside the door experiencing it, living it, versus sitting in a house and avoiding it and doing nothing but eating? You're unhappy in Canada. You sat in your bedroom when you weren't with Natter and ate. You're claiming to be depressed and sad, and oh, my life is unfulfilled. So you traded that life for a completely different life. And yet, the different life, there's a lot of elements of the same things you were doing in Canada. But this is supposed to be your dream life. This is what you wanted. This is, you designed this from the ground up, right? You got the person that you wanted, you got the place that you wanted, and all that. Yet you're more unhappy and unhealthy than you've ever been. And you're so avoiding life, you got to sit there and write down stuff just to talk about in a video.
Facts about Kuwait. There's a population of 4.5 million people here. Though expats, expatriates, make up for 70% of that population.
You know what's sad? She's trying to come off as a travel vlogger. She wants to be a travel vlogger. She watches travel vlogs all the time. She wants to be a food vlogger. Although what she's doing isn't really food vlogging. She's trying to combine too many things. She's trying to do the travel vlog thing, the food vlog thing, the mukbang thing, and the feeder thing all at the same time. And by doing too much and just muddying the waters, it all looks bad. She's not doing any one of those categories very well. But if you want to be a travel vlogger, Chantal, then go out and travel. Show people things firsthand. You're supposed to be this big travel vlogger, but what's the best you can offer us? Writing down facts about the country on a piece of paper versus going out and experiencing the country and showing people things, experiencing things, and taking the audience around with you. Saying, hey guys, look at this great place I found to eat. Hey guys, look at this monument. Look at this. Look at that. Some travel vlogger you are. You're not traveling to anywhere except for the bathroom in the next fast food restaurant. You suck.
So Kuwaitis are actually a minority in their own country. But they're also typically the only ones who get citizenship. The rest of the population is made up of a majority of Indian. Egyptian is the second most, and then there's like a mix of Syrian, Pakistani, Filipino, Turk, Palestinian. So Kuwait is the 6th largest oil reserve in the world.
Yep, she went to Google. All of this sounds like stuff she pulled off of Google. Sad. This is so sad. It's so sad I gotta do this. This is so sad. She's been in Kuwait for months, and what's the best she can give us? Facts she pulled off of Google. Are you kidding me? Are you serious? You mean to tell me, Chantal, you spent all that money and all that time and all that effort to go to Kuwait and be there for several months, acting like a travel vlogger, and the best you could offer your audience is just a piece of paper with notes about Kuwait? Really? You could have did that in Canada. It's also a shame too. You lived in Canada. Canada is beautiful. I'm sure there's so much to see. It's enormous. It's breathtaking. And you have your YouTube channel. You could have shown us so many parts of Canada. Wonderful things, wonderful people. We didn't see very much when you lived there, and that was your home soil. And you're in Kuwait, same situation, same circumstances. How in the world are you going to call yourself a travel vlogger when you don't travel anywhere? When all you can do is just pull up facts off the internet? And you expect your content to take off? You expect to be a success as a travel vlogger, food vlogger, mukbanger if you're not offering anything interesting in any of those categories? Do you really think that sitting on your floor with a laptop box on top of your lap, eating some bland, beige, fast food, and that's going to make you a hit? That's going to keep people interested and make them come back to watch you? How can you sit there and get mad at the reaction channels for taking your content, doing their magic of adding the editing and the commentary just to try to make it interesting? How can you get mad at us for you offering up bland, boring microwave potato, adding some spice, and we might get more engagement than you when you don't even try? You don't do any research for what you do. You're not even trying to make your content interesting for your subscribers. You're boring. You're straight up boring. How do you expect to be a success anywhere with that I quit, I give up attitude? Ain't gonna happen.
It contributes to 8% of the world's oil. Ew, there was like a weird thing in my beef, so I can't eat it.
Yeah, I don't believe that. I think the sandwich was just fine. It's just that she didn't want to eat it anymore.
Luckily for me, I have a backup sandwich.
Anybody ever hear of that? You got a backup sandwich? I've never had a backup sandwich. Anybody else have a backup sandwich? I've never heard of that. Oh, just in case there's something wrong with the first one, I've got a backup. That wasn't a backup sandwich, Chantal. You order probably multiple sandwiches and you just got sick of one sandwich and wanted to eat the other one. Just again, be truthful, be honest.
You always have to have a backup sandwich.
No, you don't. You absolutely do not. You can just make one meal and let that be that. But again, this is Chantal we're talking about. What did I say to y'all before? She's not focused on how nutritious her meals are. It's about the quantity, it's about the bulk. She has to make sure that she is not just full, but overfull. She wants her stomach so topped off that she can barely breathe.
And this is chicken shawarma on Saj. Carrots. So yes, I think most people know Kuwait is an oil-rich country.
I'm just going to say it, and I don't mean any disrespect to anyone who is a citizen or resident of Kuwait. I'm sure Kuwait is a lovely place, and there's lots to do, and the culture and the people and everything is just wonderful. No disrespect. I'm actually sorry that those of you in Kuwait, whether you're Muslim or not, that you had to be subjected to this beast. Anybody's ever had any contact with her, so sorry you had contact with this one. She was a problem in Canada. Now she's a problem in Kuwait. She's squatting like a toad in Kuwait because she's got so many problems in Canada. She don't want to come back and face them. So she's doing everything she can to stay over there. Sorry about that, Kuwait. So sorry. But I would rather not hear about Kuwait. I would rather see Kuwait. She's over there. She could take her camera and show things and show people. I would like to learn about the country via experiencing things, not hearing facts on a page. I don't want to hear about facts you can pull off of Google. She's supposed to be a travel vlogger, showing us things like almost in real time. I went here, I went there. Here's this great food. Here's how it's made. Here's the ingredients. Here's where they come from and the traditions. And I want to see. You understand? I don't want facts on a page. I want to see something interesting. If I wanted to learn about Kuwait, I could go on Google and pull up facts myself. But here she is pulling up facts and putting them into a monetized video. Chantal, do better. This is just lazy, straight up lazy.
The Kuwaiti dinar, our currency here, is the highest valued currency. Before 1960, they were using the Gulf rupee.
Yeah, about that, about the Kuwaiti dinar. You get paid in Canadian money. The Kuwaiti dinar is much stronger than a Canadian dollar. For every one Kuwaiti dinar, your money is worth what, 25 cents? So you're over there telling us that it's so much cheaper to live in Kuwait. No, it's more expensive. But you'll never admit that. And even if it were cheaper, let's play devil's advocate. Let's just say it were cheaper. How can it be cheaper if you're eating up your entire paycheck? You literally spend so much money on so much takeout food, it's ridiculous. So you're still spending tremendous amounts of money on food that is doing you no kinds of good.
I'm scared of this sandwich now because of the beef one. Okay, chicken shawarma, don't let me down. Chicken shawarma, garlic, parsley. That's about it. Okay, the word Kuwait. I didn't know this either. The word Kuwait means.
You know what? Like I said, no disrespect to Kuwait or its citizens. I don't want to hear facts on a page. If she's going to be a travel vlogger, I want to see the travels. So we're just going to zip past some of this. Just, like her reading facts, anybody can do this. You shouldn't get paid for just simply writing things down on a page and putting them in a monetized video. My opinion. You want to get paid as a travel vlogger, then freaking travel. Show us something besides your living room and that doggone laptop box.
Here's one you probably know. Some of you don't. Kuwait is the most obese country in the Middle East, and one of the has the highest one of the countries with the highest obesity rates in the world.
Yeah, a little note about that. This is just my opinion. Okay, I want to state that outright. This is just my opinion. I think, just my thoughts here. I think Chantal was in Canada and maybe she did some research or some Googling, which is what she does. She really doesn't research, she Googles. She doesn't fact check. And maybe she read somewhere that Kuwait has a high obesity rate. And maybe in her little, vegetable oil greasy mind, she figured that because there's a lot of, allegedly, a lot of obese people in Kuwait, maybe she got to thinking because there's a lot of obese people in Kuwait, I'll fit right in. I'll blend into the crowd. Not only that, but if I'm wearing an abaya and wearing the hijab, that's going to disguise my weight. So I'll fit into the crowd. And if I'm wearing the hijab and wearing the abaya, then that means I can get bigger and no one's going to know. No one's going to notice. But Chantal, there are different levels of obesity. There's, of course, chubby. And then there's obese. And then there's super, super morbidly obese. And then there's death fat. So maybe you read that there were some obese people in Kuwait. But did you fact check? Did you check to see if there were any super, super morbidly obese people in Kuwait? Did you check to see if there was a lot of super, super morbidly obese people in Kuwait? Because if there isn't, that means you're going to stand out. So she had this idea in her mind that she could just go to Kuwait. And if there were obese people in Kuwait, that she would just, I guess, blend in, fit right in. And she found out when she got there that she stuck out anyway because of her super, super morbid obesity. And also thinking that the abaya was going to disguise her weight gain. Well, she was wrong in that too, because she grew outward to the point where even the biggest abaya, it looks like a bodycon dress. It shows off more than it hides. And yet, even with these things going on, all of these warning signs that she needs to slim down, she's not heeding the warnings. She's just continuing on the path. Her body is screaming for help, and she does not want to listen.
40% of the population is obese. 77% is overweight. There's a lot of fast food here.
Yeah, well, just because there is doesn't mean you have to eat it. There's always the option to say no. or just have the fast food once in a while, not 3 times a day. Because you can't sit there and point at any fast food restaurant and say, it's their fault that I've gained a ton of weight. It's their fault that I'm super morbidly obese or a death fat. You can't point at another person or an organization or a group or a restaurant and say it's their fault when you're the one who controls what goes in and out of your mouth. You got to take some accountability. You got to say, it's my doing. I did this. And if you see your health declining, you've got to take a stand or not. But if you care, you'll take a stand and say, I'm going to stop this train before it crashes into a wall. My body is giving me signs that I need to do something, and I need to do something. I got to stop this nonsense. You're trying to put the blame on your weight gain on fast food restaurants, Chantal, but I'm sure there's lots of people that eat fast food that are not super, super morbidly obese. You're super, super morbidly obese because you're not taking care of your health, because your hyperfixation on food is so extreme that you can't get away from it. You don't want to get away from it. You're not even trying. If somebody tries to get you away from it, you are kicking, you are screaming, you're throwing temper tantrums. It's the way you've been all your life. You know that if you pull a big enough temper tantrum, that people will give you what you want just to shut you up. And so you do. Because the being defiant and getting your way is more important than the quality of your life.
So I fit right in.
No, you don't. How would you know that you fit right in? If you're in the house all the time, you never go anywhere, how do you know you fit in? And if you fit in, why don't you spend time with anybody? If you are someone you can just melt into a crowd and you feel like you would be accepted because you're of a certain size and other people are also of a certain size, why don't you go anywhere? Where are your friends? Where's your social circle, Chantal? You never show us anything except for that stupid living room, that awful blue couch, and that laptop box. So I guess you don't fit in. You're still secluding yourself. You're still hiding yourself away. So that points to me of you don't fit in, and you know it. You just sit in the house all day and eat.
There's a tower that's expected to be erected by 2030, year 2030, called the Burj Mubarak Al Kabir Tower. I think the word Burj just means tower. Which, if nothing else is erected before that, this will be the tower.
You know, it's hilarious to me. She's sitting there trying to do like an informational, educational video about Kuwait at the same time she's stuffing her face. Just mixing those two things together. And both look sloppy.
Building in the world. Right now, I think it's the Burj Khalifa in UAE.
You know, Chantal, why don't you just eat your meal? Just stuff your face and get it over with. And then when you want to get to the educational part, you can do it after. Because it's so annoying to sit there and try to learn about Kuwait through you. At the same time, you're stuffing your face and you're cutting yourself off every 10 seconds just to, you know, put something in your mouth again. It's annoying.
So I'll talk a bit about the healthcare because it was confusing the way I explained it, maybe, and to a lot of people. I have used the healthcare here. I used a government facility and a private clinic.
You don't have any healthcare there. You're not a citizen. You're not a resident. So how do you have access to healthcare? You're talking about that clinic that you went to after your beach visit. If all you paid was 10 Kuwaiti dinar, you did not get much healthcare. They probably just gave you some oxygen after your walk and sent you on your way. Guarantee you not much happened. You need a full checkup. You need to go home to Canada and get a full checkup because you don't know where your health is sitting at. You don't know what your organs are looking like. You might have already lost your health care in Canada because you haven't been there in months. You need to be somewhere where you can get real medical care, access to real medical care. I'm not putting down Kuwait's system of medical care. I'm sure it's fine, but you're not a citizen there. And your health is so bad. Like I said, if something serious happened, you'd be in trouble. You'd be in serious trouble. But you're insisting on staying there because you just can't be separated from Salah. You don't want to leave him behind. Why are you working so hard to be there, Chantal? You're miserable. He's miserable. Be smart. Go home. You don't want to be there. He don't want you there. Just cut this thing off and go home. It doesn't matter if you're in Kuwait or Canada. You got problems either way. But you just can't be separated from Salah. You can't bear the thought of losing control of him. And you know there's a high possibility that the moment you get on that plane, he's going to cut things off with you. He's waiting for you to get on that plane so he can be free.
Actually, Kuwait has one of the best private healthcare systems in the world.
Yeah, for its citizens, of which you are not. Look, if you had access to good health care over there, I doubt you'll be going to a clinic. I really doubt that.
But universal healthcare, like free healthcare for all, it's state funded basically. So for Kuwaiti citizens,
Which you're not. You can't take advantage of any health care over there because you're not a citizen. You are essentially a tourist on a tourist visa. So that is not accessible to you. You want health care? Go home to Canada.
you have access to free healthcare, government funded.
But you're not a citizen, like I said, so that doesn't apply to you.
To access the free public government funded healthcare here as an expat, you need a civil ID. And you have to pay like 60 KD a year, which is like less than about $200.
Okay, so this is like a really small detail. But with each sandwich came like a small bag of carrots. So she just had 3 bags. So there's been 3 sandwiches, Chantal. You sat there and showed us one sandwich. You're eating another one. Where's the other sandwich?
Anytime I've gone to get healthcare, I didn't have to wait at all. Like,
That's because you go late at night. Anybody remember back in the day when Chantal was in Canada and she would do the ERBs whenever she got in trouble with people, whenever they would get mad at her or she wanted a deflection of some kind, she would ERBs. But if anybody remembers, she would always make a big deal of she doesn't like waiting in line. She doesn't like sitting in the waiting room. She always wants to go when there's nobody else. So she went at a time of night when there would be no one. She's making it sound like they ushered her right in and took care of her right away. That's because you were going late at night.
right in. Nobody waiting. So that was my topic. There's a lot of these restaurants that have like similar types of sandwiches on sausage bread. This type of bread here, sausage. Shawarma is very popular, of course. Falafel. There's different.
The irony of that. So she goes from talking about healthcare in Kuwait directly back to fast food. So we're going to talk about healthcare and caring about your health, and then switch the topic to let's talk about the fast food in Kuwait. Food that I shouldn't be eating because I'm extremely unhealthy and I really should stay away from, but I'm not gonna. Always hyper fixated on food.
Types of sandwich, like chicken fillet sandwich is very popular. Italiani. Ghost sandwich. So it's like chicken fillet with like mortadella, like cheese.
You know, Chantal, I don't think you quite get it. I don't think you understand. So let me just spell it out for you. Your fixation on food and your obsession with food is yours alone. Do you understand that? That your hyperfixation and obsession with food is not everybody else's obsession and hyperfixation. We are not as invested or obsessed with food as you are. Because of your hyperfixation, you might find food fascinating. You might find fast food extremely fascinating to the point where you want to bring it up and talk about it all the time. Meanwhile, the people on the other side of the monitor, they're like, this is boring. You know why it's boring? Because it's not our obsession. We are not obsessed with food. We are not obsessed with fast food. We look at a burger from Burger King or chicken from KFC and say, it's just fast food. It's not that deep. We're not that invested. But you are all the way invested. And then you get mad at the audience for saying, this is boring, Chantal. We are bored. Because all you want to do all day long is talk about everything you're addicted to and you have an obsession with. And you're just not seeing the disconnect that your obsessions and your addictions are not ours. Hence, we feel differently about them. And you get mad at people for pointing out how boring it is. You honestly think that your addictions are interesting to the rest of us, to the point where we should stay invested in your content and you and just watch forever. Let me tell you something, Chantal, and I'm going to be frank and blunt with you, real blunt. Back in the day, way back in the day, when you and Amberlyn Reed got on YouTube and y'all started doing videos, a whole community sprung up around the two of you. There were a lot of reactors covering you. And it was just, lighthearted fun to watch the two of you and comment on what was going on. But we've arrived at a place where it used to be where you and Amber were in the 300s and you had more health and you had more mobility and there was a lot of interesting, crazy things going on. We have arrived at a place with the both of you where you're both in death fat territory, where you both have limited mobility, hard time breathing, tons of health problems, and it's sad to watch. And everybody holding their breath and hoping they don't experience you or her having a medical emergency on live. Nobody wants to see that happen. Nobody's hoping that happens. But you're both pushing yourself to that point where something could happen, and neither one of you gives a shit. And that's the part that makes me angry. That you and Amber, you're making that kind of money where you could fix your health. You could do anything you want for your lives, and you're not giving a damn. You'll come on camera and you will complain about your problems. Oh, my back hurts. I am so sick. You'll complain about your problems, but you won't fix your problems. You'll only complain about them when you have the power to fix them. You want everybody else to care about you, but you don't care about you. Care has to start at home with you before anybody else. But we have arrived at that place where we're looking at you and we can see there's a lot wrong. Your complexion doesn't look good. Your hands are swollen. Your face is swollen. Even your eyes are swollen. You have trouble breathing even when sitting perfectly still. We can see there's a lot going on here. And it makes people wonder what's going to happen tomorrow. And yet you're not slowing it down. You're speeding it up. For what reason? To cater to people on your channel that are quickly disappearing? They don't care about you. A lot of them don't care about you. The ones that are encouraging you to eat, they don't care about you. You like to call the reaction channels and the audience haters? Let me correct your worldview. If you're hurting yourself with food or any other substance or anything, you are doing self-harm on camera in front of us, letting us watch. The people that are coming forward and saying, this is wrong. There's some stuff going on here. They have more concern for you than the people who are coming on your channel and saying, go ahead, Chantal, eat that burger. Go ahead, Chantal, eat that ice cream. They talk about food. They encourage you to eat more. Those are the true haters because they see all the health problems on your face, on your body. And they're not coming forward and telling you to stop. Granted, you have control of what goes into yourself, but you surround yourself with people that keep it going versus opposing it. So are you sure the people in the reaction channel community are haters? You may not like the criticisms. They may be hard to stomach. They may hurt your feelings. They may piss you off. But if enough people are saying all that stuff to you, you should pay attention. You really should pay attention. And you should realize that what you're doing to your body is wrong. That using your YouTube money to hurt yourself is wrong. It's your life and it's your choice. You can do what you want with it. You can ruin it or save it, make it healthy, make it unhealthy, whatever you want to do. But this is bullshit right here. You coming on camera, hurting yourself with food is bullshit. You doing your addiction on camera is bullshit. Expecting to monetize it, make money is bullshit. Don't come on camera crying to us if you're not feeling well because you are the sole cause of that.
Lettuce, mayo, ketchup. Very cheap and fast. And they always give you little baggies of these little pickles. They have a lot of places that sell like chapati as well. Because there's like a huge mix of culture here and there's a very predominant Indian population. There's a lot of restaurants with that Indian influence. So like a lot of them will have like Arabic food, Arabic mixed grill, makluba, stuff like that. Chapati rolls. So it's like chapati Indian bread. Fresh.
You know, don't tell us about the food. Do more, do better. Show us the food. Get yourself to a place physically where you've got some mobility and you can move around and actually show it to us. Don't tell us about it. You want to be a travel vlogger? You want your videos to do better? You want more of an audience? Show us. Stop being lazy. Don't sit there and Google stuff and write it down on a piece of paper. Miss Travel Vlogger, actually travel and show us different things. Give your audience something to experience other than you sitting on your floor and eating a fast food takeout. Experience some things and have your audience experience things through you. That's what you should be doing. This is lazy. What you're doing is lazy and it's boring.
made fresh. And they'll put different ingredients in it. Chicken fillet, hot sauce, cheese, lettuce, mortadella. Kraft is very popular. Nutella. Middle Eastern dish like
Still talking about food. Still eating food and talking about food.
I've eaten it on my live streams before. Like breads, fresh bread baked with stuff inside of it, like spinach and cheese or thyme. Variety of things.
You don't want variety. You're not a person of variety. Here's your chance. You're in Kuwait. There's all kinds of different food. You could easily stay away from fast food, from takeout, because there's an entire country full of foods you've never tasted before. Are you bothering to find them all out? No, you're going straight for the fast food. Why would you do that if you don't have to? Why? When you can expand your palate and find new and interesting and healthy things to eat, why is it always the processed junk? It's doing you no favors. What is the appeal? Is it because you're kind of a food snob? And you're like, if I'm ordering takeout, I'm better than all the peasants on YouTube that have to actually cook their food. Hey, guess what? All of us peasants that we cook our food, we're eating healthier food and better food than you. How you like them apples? The processed food is junk. You're paying more and you're getting less nutrition versus us peasants that we go shopping and we cook our food and it's actually better for us. And we're in better shape than you as far as our health. Think about that. You're paying more money for less quality food versus buying real food, making it at home, and it's better for you. And it will give you energy and you be in better health and go out and do things versus just sitting in your house and thinking about everything you'd like to do, but you will never do because you're not taking care of yourself.
Really interesting to try the like various types of food in different cultures.
You know, a little side note. I've been reacting to Chantal for a while. And I remember all those nights when she'd be sitting at the villa in her room, surrounded by garbage and trash and just filth of all kinds, absolute filth. And she would literally be sitting at her desk, surrounded in filth. And she would order takeout, get the takeout, be eating that food. And while she's eating, get on her phone, get on an app, and order more food. And at the same time that that was going on, sit there and be talking about food with her audience. She's always fixated on food. She wouldn't even wait to order another meal after the first meal, like just constant eating machine. Constant. And she's doing the same thing in Kuwait. She's sitting here. She just ate 2 sandwiches. She probably has a third. Talking about food. Her mind stays fixated on the food 24/7. That's why she needs inpatient. She needs to be somewhere where she cannot fixate on the food. She needs therapy. She'll never get it. She doesn't want to be in a room with a person listening to her who's not a beezer, that she can't manipulate, she can't like control. She doesn't want to sit in a room and pay somebody for their time. She doesn't want to hear any advice. She just wants a space where she can get her hugs and kisses and her enabling and continue her bad behavior. And she looks for people that back up her bad behavior and not call her out on it. That's why she hates the reaction community. Chantal hates mirrors of all kinds, not just physical mirrors like the kind you see in your bathroom, but virtual mirrors. And every single one of the reactors that calls her out, we all function as a kind of mirror because we all bounce a reflection back at her. When she does something online, she'll do a live, she'll do a video, and she acts badly, and then she tries to cover it up by dirty deleting it. We bounce a reflection back at her and show her just how awful she is, how much of a liar and manipulator she is, how evil she is. And she doesn't like that. She doesn't like her own reflection. Hence why she's always running from it. She's always escaping from herself. But you know what, Chantal? You can go anywhere you want in the world. Wherever you go, there you are. And also, there with you are all of your problems and all your issues. So maybe the solution is not to run, not to escape, not to pretend that they're not there. They very much are. Maybe the solution is dealing with the issues. Once you deal with them, they're no longer an issue. It's no longer a problem. Yay! Then life can go on. But you've made a habit of running and escaping from things and hating the mirrors around you, hating the reaction community. We're just simply showing you yourself, your real self. You don't want to admit that you're an awful person and you need work. You need a lot of work, but whether you do the work is up to you. It's your life.
Because I mean, like, food is a huge part of every culture, right? And part of cultural identity in a way.
So are you giving yourself permission to eat excessively because of a culture, because of tradition? Always looking for reasons and excuses to continue what you're doing versus stopping.
I think I fasted today for like,
Okay, can we talk about that? The fasting. Chantal's idea of fasting is going to sleep. And she thinks because she's asleep for 8 to 10 hours, that's fasting. No, you're just asleep. You're not actively fasting. You're just asleep. And because you're asleep, you're not eating. That does not count as fasting.
I don't even know, a while.
And you can't really even count that as fasting with Chantal because she makes a point to eat huge, out of control meals before bed. So she's going to bed with a full stomach. And while she is sleeping, her body is digesting food. So she's not really ever going without food. She'll eat a big meal, go to bed. While she's sleeping, her body is trying to digest everything she's put in it. And then when she wakes up, she's barely hungry. So you can't really count the sleeping as fasting.
A long while. So, why is soda painful?
You know why it's painful? Because you just sat there and ate 3 sandwiches. This is what happens when you eat too much. Anybody out there in my audience, I'm sure we've had at least one experience where you just ate too much. You ate so much that you literally could not move. Like your stomach is so stuffed, you're just sitting in your chair, sitting perfectly still, leaning all the way back, just trying to give your stomach some space to stretch out, and you're uncomfortable. You almost feel sick. It's happened to everybody. It's a normal thing. Maybe you've gone to a family member's house or a friend's house and the food was so good, you just ate a bit too much and then you paid the price afterwards. You're like, oh, I'm so uncomfortable. Oh, this sucks. This is Chantal's life every day. She stuffs herself like a freaking turkey. And then she has the nerve to say, oh, I'm so stuffed. I'm so uncomfortable. Know when to stop. Know when to freaking stop. You want a sandwich, eat a sandwich. Don't eat 3 and fries and whatever else. Stop overstuffing yourself. You wonder why you don't have any energy? That's because whatever energy your body has, it has to devote to digesting all that food. That's why you're always sick and tired, Chantal. It's not just the food, the lack of nutrition you're putting in, but the amount. Your stomach is overtaxed. It's exhausted. Eat less and you'll have more energy, moron.
The bubbles, the fizz. Anyway. I guess that's about it. Nothing more to say.
And you know what? This the end of the video. This proves something. If YouTube came to Chantal tomorrow and said, Chantal, you got a problem with food. Because of that, you are not allowed to do any more food content. You can't eat on camera, none of that. Because you got a problem with it, and we know it. You've said so. So you can do anything you want on your channel besides food content. Oh, and you also can't rage because you're offensive when you rage. If you took away the rage and you took away the food, Chantal would not know what to do. She just finished the meal. So she just ate. She could sit and talk with people about anything, but she's got nothing to say. She's a one-trick pony, and her trick is eating massive amounts of food. After she's done performing her trick, there's nothing else. There's nothing else to see here, folks. There's nothing else to listen to. She's just that boring that she can't find anything else to do and nothing else to talk about. That's why she sticks to the food. That's the only way she knows how to make money.
Thanks for having dinner with me. I like devoured that. I was so hungry, and like we initially ordered a meal after waiting so long to eat, and it got lost or something happened to it. We didn't get here.
And by the way, Chantal, can we talk about professionalism? Can we have a conversation? You're making this video, you want to make lots of money, but ma'am, I'm looking dead ass at you. Why is your abaya filthy? I'm looking at you. You've got cat hair, you've got dirt all over that abaya. This whole setup was sloppy. And you expect this video to make lots of money? You're not even caring enough to take care of your appearance. To come on camera clean and ready to work and entertaining people with good things to talk about. This is so in the vein of just phoning it in. This is so I quit. This is so I don't care. I don't care to give my viewers entertaining content. I just want to be a lazy ass and sit and eat my meal. And then after it's over, I'll post the video and expect to make a couple $100. How's that working out for you? Make a little bit of cash, but at the expense of your health. And let me tell you something. The health is more important than a paycheck, and your paychecks are getting smaller. So is being lazy worth the expensive cost of your health?
So we had to reorder, wait another hour. It's like, anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye. See you later. Until the next boring ass video where you're eating food again and it all looks bland. Bye. I told you guys I'm in a mood today. I'm just letting her have it. Don't care. Really don't care. So that's it for this react. I'm going to post it up. And for anybody offended by the bad language, sorry. Sometimes you just got to go off on Chantal. And I'm sick of YouTube and their code words and can't say this and can't say that. Sometimes you just got to let it all out. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this react video. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you so much for being here. And please have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.